Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning into my podcast. I'm your host, Betty, and today we are going to be talking about Outlander Season 1, Episode 2. So, in the last episode, I brought up a few things in the conversation. After he got shot, falls off the horse, and she starts bandaging him up. I said that, that was the moment he fell in love with her or knew something was special was about her. And remember, I talked about how the actors in this show can make us feel what they're feeling just by a look. And that was one of those moments. And I should have said that in the episode, but, I'm not perfect. I don't think of these things, so, yeah. And then another thing that I talked about in the episode was when Claire first came through the stones. And you remember how I said that she should have, I shouted out my TV that she should have just turned around and touched the stones. Guys, I know that she shouldn't have done that because, we wouldn't have a story, okay? So she had to keep going for us to have a story. So, yeah, that's a few of the things that I wanted to bring up. If y'all can think of anything else that I messed up in that last episode, I'll talk about in the next episode. I probably got dates and things wrong too, so, if y'all want to help me out, that's great. So anyway, we're just going to jump right into talking about today's episode, episode 2 of season 1. I got the synopsis right here, and I'm going to read it to you. The story is, Claire knows that if she is to survive in this time, she will have to act like a local. She arrives at Castle Leoch, and after being dressed properly by the housekeeper, Miss Fitzgibbons, meets the laird of the castle, Colin Mackenzie. He agrees to provide her with transportation to Inverness in a few days' time, but Claire's story of being on her way to France when attacked by brigands is suspect, and she is thought to be a spy. When the time comes, Colin tells her she'll not be leaving until they know exactly who she is and what she's up to. Okay, so first of all, that synopsis left a lot out. But I need to give credit where I get these. I get them from IMDb. So, and I also get the trivia from there too. So if y'all want to check that out, it's the Outlander IMDb. So anyway, we can go straight into discussing now. I didn't take notes when I was watching the episode because, guys, I probably wouldn't have been able to pay attention to the show and what's going on. So this is just coming off from memory. So it starts out, they get to the castle, and Miss Fitzgibbons is out there to greet all the Highlanders, and she sees Claire in the background like, what do we have here, And she's a half-dressed, for the time, she's half-dressed woman, and so she insists on taking Claire into the castle and getting her dressed up, but, Claire's insistent that she has to tend to Jamie first, which, Fitzgibbons is a little like, do you know how to do that? And she asks her if she's a beaten, and Claire's like just agreeing because she needs to do what she needs to do, and, so they go in, and, Miss Fitzgibbons, that woman is awesome, right, guys? I love her. She actually kind of knows what she's doing too when they go in and take care of Jamie, the leeches and things, and by the way, guys, if that works, gross, okay? But she's very knowledgeable with what she's doing. So, but she leaves Claire in there with Jamie, and they have that moment in front of the fireplace where Jamie tells her, actually it's when Claire takes his shirt off and she sees his scars, and he has that flashback moment. By the way, this show is good with all of that. Another thing about this show is all the character building and stuff that they do in just 2 episodes. Like, it takes shows several episodes to get there. And, like, we already love Miss Fitzgibbons, and we already hate Blackjack Randall, and we already love Jamie, and we're invested in what Claire's doing. So that's pretty good writing on the show's part. And I know, guys, that this is a book series, and that these characters have been out, established for 20 years. But, some of us had never heard of these books until the show came out. So, for us, for me in particular, I'd never heard of these characters before. So this, for it to grab me on the second episode, and for me to already have connections with these characters on the second episode, that's pretty good. I don't know if I should give that credit to Diana Gabaldon, or if I should give that credit to the show runners and the people. But yeah, that was brilliant. That's brilliant writing, in my opinion, for us to already have connections with the characters. So that was something that, like I said, that's something that I noticed in the show. So, but anyway, back to discussion of the actual episode. Jamie and Claire are in front of the fire, and he starts talking about, why he has the scars and everything. And we go into that flashback with Blackjack Randall, and I want to bring up something about that too, about Blackjack Randall and Tobias Menzies. He is a brilliant actor, guys. I know he gets a lot of flack for the character of Blackjack Randall, but in this very same episode, okay, he plays the most vile, cruelest person, and then and on the other side, and almost in the same scene, he plays Frank, and Claire's husband, and we love him, or we feel sorry for him. But yeah, I mean, Tobias Menzies is a brilliant, brilliant actor to play someone so vile and cruel, and you hate him, to someone that you feel sympathy for, and maybe even like, I mean, we like Frank. So yeah, kudos to Tobias Menzies. He's brilliant. I think I'm saying his name wrong. It's Menzies. So anyway, and he's great in The Crown. By the way, if y'all haven't seen that, I'm just gonna stick that in there. Anyway, back to the actual episode we're talking about, though. So he does all these cruel things to Jenny. It makes Jamie watch. Rips her shirt open and everything, and then he beats Jamie and makes Jenny watch, and then he also threatens Jamie's life while, if she doesn't do what he wants her to do, which is, gross, and he's going to kill Jamie. So, poor Jenny. I mean, what is she supposed to do, But spoiler alert, later on we find out she didn't actually have to do anything. So she, showed him what was what. So anyway, but back to episode 2. I keep going ahead of myself, but I need to stick on topic with episode 2. So anyway, back in front of the fireplace with Jamie and Claire, they have this moment because she starts to remember Frank. I think he brought up her husband, that her husband was a lucky man to have her. And she starts remembering or wondering where Frank is. And again, this is where, Tobias Menzies' brilliant acting comes in, because we just saw him as Blackjack Randall, the very vile person, and then turn around and we're seeing him as Frank, wondering where his wife is. And so we sympathize or feel something for Frank in that moment, and we hate him as Blackjack Randall in the other moment. So Jamie gets up and he tries to comfort Claire, and he's holding her there while she's crying, and then she catches herself, she realizes she shouldn't be doing this, I mean, this is inappropriate because, she probably has attraction to Jamie, and, she should be missing her husband, and makes his promise to protect her. She doesn't need to be scared of him, that he'll protect her. So then the next scene we see, she's waking up from sleeping apparently all day, Miss Fitzgibbons tells her. And, Claire, in this moment, looks just like I do when I wake up. But no, really, Kate's beautiful. But anyway, Miss Fitz has to help her get dressed, and she sees the bra,